Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here at Banknote Trading, where we take a look at the USD pairs in the Forex market. Today, we'll start by taking a look at Euro USD on the 4-hour chart. Let's go and map out the current range. And as prices continued, started of the week, continue to push bullish. We're making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Of course, this swept out the highs and seller step back in, pushing it back down into this demand area. We're waiting to see a decision on price. There is liquidity sitting under these lows, but this is all back in that consolidation range. And right now, price is reacting from this area of demand, this sell before the buy. So waiting to see if this push will continue to push lower back down to the discount of this overall range, and this becomes a lower high than these highs, or if this is the higher low from these lows, pushing out of this area of demand. So right now, seller step back in. All depends on the strength of the dollar. But if it can retrace back more, the only time I'd be looking for any type of selling opportunities if it gets past this area of demand that push and broke the structure to the upside. So waiting to see that, but only looking for any type of buying opportunity right now. As like I said, we've been making higher highs, higher lows. Essentially, looking to see if the highs of the overall range will be targeted. GBP USD. Let's go and map out the current range. A little more bearish than a euro. As you know, it broke out of this area of consolidation, making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Of course, it did the same sweep of the highs. The sellers pushed back down, broke structure to the downside. This actually did pass its area of demand that pushed prices higher. And now this could be forming, as prices continue to target the lows, it's forming could possibly be forming a lower high than these highs. But overall, like I was saying yesterday, price is back into this area of consolidation that it has been in since July, essentially. But we're looking at the macro level on the 4-hour chart, which means this is the strong higher low from these lows that broke past these highs. So technically still in that area of consolidation, but on a micro level, we're waiting to see if these highs can be taken out, since it has started the bullish push. But again, it could end up being the lower high from the highs, and then target the lows of this overall range, putting it back in bearish swing structure. Looking at DXY, all depends on how strong the dollar is rebounding from this low. Like I've been saying, this could possibly be the sweep. Of course, you see it on other USD pairs. Sweep of the lows. If the dollar strengthens, then we can expect this to go ahead and take out the highs because there's liquidity sitting over these highs. This also is back into its area of consolidation that it has been in, with this being resistance and this being the support area. Price is trading here now. This could be forming a higher low from these lows. We're waiting to see if any type of momentum can pick up in either direction, because technically swing structure is bearish. Looking to see if this can sustain and push down, targeting the lows of the overall range, or if the dollar is gaining strength in order to push back up and take out the highs. So waiting to see momentum to pick up. AUD USD. Let's go and map out the current range. And the buyers had been making gains, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Of course, this is more bullish than the other USD pairs. The structure did break to the downside with the sell-off when sellers step back in. Looks like this area of demand is holding up. Waiting to see if momentum can pick up in the direction toward taking out the highs. This is a little more bullish than the other pairs, but overall, this area of consolidation, with this being support, this being resistance, price looks like it is going to come back into that area also, but on the micro level, of course, or on the 4-hour swing structure, waiting to see any momentum to pick up in order to target the highs of this range, as could be forming the higher low from these lows. But keep in mind that there's liquidity sitting under these lows. So if it can't close under this demand area, we're looking to see if it can retrace even more before taking any opportunity to buy. NZD USD. Let's go map out the current range. A lot more bearish than Aussie dollar. As we know, it came, buyer stepped in and pushed prices higher, took out these highs, but then fundamentals on the New Zealand economy pushed prices way back down. Because previously it was in bearish swing structure, and then once it started breaking past these highs, looked bullish internally, and then bullish swing structure because it took out these highs, but it's pushing back down past this area of demand. This was the sell before that buy. Looks like price is gonna bypass that now. Looking for any momentum to pick up, then it would target the lows of this overall range. Then we're back to bearish swing structure, with this being the high of that range. Waiting to see if that can sustain from that. Again, that fundamental news on the New Zealand economy. Right now, just waiting for price to make a decision. And like I said, possibly target the lows of the overall range. GBP AUD, let's go map out the current range. And with this still being the lower high, this bearish swing structure, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Of course, break structure to the downside. Then we started this corrective pattern that broke structure to the upside in the fractal after a break, but overall still just swing structure bearish. There is liquidity sitting over these highs, but only looking for any type of selling opportunity. And we can see more recently structure broke to the downside, and I expect the lows to be targeted to form a new low, at least on the 4-hour range in a bearish direction once these lows get taken out. But it has just been really consolidating. No real impulsive pushes, but still expect the swing structure to continue as the internal structure is lining up and fractal structure starting to break down. GBP NZD, let's go map out the current range. This still is the overall range for GBP NZD. Came close when the bulls pushed prices higher to this higher low, because the overall swing structure is still bearish. We trace back down, broke structure to the downside. Could consider this a liquidity sweep of these lows out of this demand area that pushed prices higher. This gap has been filled, obviously. Again, because of that New Zealand news. And buyers stepped back up, pushing prices higher, took out the highs, went past this supply area. Now waiting to see if momentum can sustain and push past this lower high, making this a bullish swing structure. Right now, still consolidating. Like I said, just waiting for a momentum push in that direction, because once they start taking out these highs, I would expect to take out this strong lower high and form a bullish, like I said, a bullish swing structure for GBP NZD. And that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining us.